So I watched Cuties, and it's worse than you imagine. It's fucking boring. You might as well unpucker your booty hole right now, cause it's only gonna hurt more when I go in. I'm gonna say a lot of shit that's gonna piss people off. And fuck you YouTube, this video isn't monetized, so I'll say whatever I want. The mess surrounding Cuties shows why it's so important to think more than one step ahead. Because if people did that, a lot of this could have been avoided. This movie has been a controversy for several weeks after this image went viral. For some reason, Netflix thought this was the best way to present the film. Now, this is actually taken from the film and edited so the blonde girl is in the layout. Of all the moments to choose from this 96-minute film, you went with this. I mean, you could have picked worse. This is literally the tamest part of the ending dance scene, but still, you didn't want to pick anything that actually represented what the film was about, which is supposed to be a coming-of-age story about the horrors of hypersexualizing girls. No? Nothing? Not the French poster? Not the shot of the girls hanging out in the bedroom? Not the shot of the girls dancing on the stairs before it got raunchy? No? I mean, you could have picked the shot of the girl discovering she got her period, and that would have been more tasteful than this. And then there was the trailer. I thought maybe the poster was off, but no. The trailer pretty much does the same thing. You see the main character Ami growing up in a strict Muslim home, and then she discovers these girls who sexy dance, and she joins them, but her mother doesn't understand. But Ami doesn't care, and she goes to the dancing competition and dances like a stripper in a 90s rap video. What the fuck am I supposed to do with this? This won an award. Seriously, this won awards. Did we watch the same movie? What movie did you watch? Can I watch that one? I've seen award-winning indie films before. This wasn't one of them, and that's without the dancing. The film itself was okay, but forgettable. But for the controversy about the dancing, I would literally forget I watched the film. It's not that the story is bad, just that it's not well executed. It's the story of Ami, an 11-year-old Muslim girl whose family just moved into a new apartment. She finds out that her father, who's in Senegal, has met another woman and will make her his second wife, much to his current wife's dismay. As this is happening, Ami notices this girl named Angelica dancing in the laundry room of the apartment building. Angelica has a dance crew called Cuties, and they're going to compete in the dancing contest, and Ami is fascinated by this. She spots them dancing, and at first they attack her. They literally belt her in the head with a rock, and then they make fun of her, but later she helps Angelica hide from a guy after she messes with his laundry, and this sort of gets them to tolerate Ami. Ami ends up stealing some guy's phone, and uses this to post pictures of herself online, and record the Cuties practicing. Eventually, Angelica has a fight with one of the other girls, Jasmine, when the girls are chatting with some boy online, and Jasmine turns on the laptop's camera to reveal that they're all little girls, so they boot her out the group. Ami takes her place after she shows Angelica that she's learned the crew's dance moves. Things start to fall apart immediately. Ami's father sends presents home for the wedding, including a traditional dress for Ami. Ami begins to steal money from her mother to buy sexy clothing. She teaches the girl her new dance moves she learned watching stripper videos during prayer services. Unfortunately, she's forced to help with the wedding preparations with her auntie on the day of the dance contest tryouts. When she finally gets time to try to leave, she grabs a gear and sees the new dress, but when she touches it, there's blood that runs down it and onto the floor. She ignores it and tries to leave, but gets called by Auntie to take food somewhere, and eventually she ditches Auntie to go to the competition, but gets there too late, although she is able to watch. When she returns home, Auntie scolds her, and then she sees Ami has finally gotten her period, which explains where the blood came from before. Ami has to convince the Cuties to let her stay a part of the group. They sneak into a laser tag place and get caught. The girls get a notice that they got into the dance competition. Ami twerks for the second guard to prove that they're dancers, and then the first guard tosses them out. The Cuties go and film a video on some stairs that apparently goes viral. Then Ami picks a fight with a girl, resulting in the girl's friends pantsing her, revealing her worn out underwear, which they post online, ruining the Cuties' reputation. The guy Ami stole the phone from stumbles onto her when she tries to make up with the Cuties, and he takes it back. In an effort to get it back from him, she flirts with him. When he pushes her away, she snatches the phone, runs into the bathroom, and for some reason takes a picture of her privates and posts it online. This has the immediate fallout of the Cuties rejecting her because now everyone wants them to do the same thing. A boy in the class calls her a slut and she stabs him with a pencil. Ami's mother flips out on her, basically venting about the marriage. Auntie stops her. Jasmine takes Ami's place, but Ami doesn't give up wanting to join the crew for the competition. Meanwhile, her father's new wife arrives. On the wedding day, Ami goes to the competition anyway. She waits for Jasmine, and when the girl shows up, she pushes her into the river, and it appears Jasmine can't swim. Ami doesn't help her, but instead waits until Jasmine grabs onto a buoy and then runs to the competition. The cuties are about to go on, so they have no choice but to go on with Ami. They do their stripper routine, but towards the end, Ami freaks out and runs home. Auntie scolds her for messing up the wedding day, but her mother protects her from Auntie, and the mother goes to the wedding, while Ami dresses like a normal girl and goes outside and plays jump rope. The end. That's what won an award. I mean, the acting is okay. The girl who plays Ami had to carry the film, and she did a good job. Everyone else was alright as well. No one's terrible or excellent, just okay. So, why did this win an award? I know what you're thinking, but it's not because it's pedo candy. I think it's because the director is a black Muslim woman. If a white man had made this, it wouldn't have won. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. Now, of all the problems with this film, let's start with the obvious. The dancing. What the fuck were you thinking, Mademoiselle Decore? Her point appears to be that she saw some 11-year-old girls twerking in a dance crew and thought that was bad and wanted to talk about how girls are being sexualized at a young age. She decided to contrast this with the conservatism of a Muslim background, showing how the girl is caught between two extremes. And she chose to do this by having the girls in the film dance like the girls she saw in real life. So far, so good. I told you, unpucker your booty hole or it'll hurt more. Think more than one step ahead. If we want to tell coming-of-age stories that deal with tough subject matter, we can't pretend like the matter doesn't happen, and we can't do everything off-screen. At some point, you're gonna have to show it. How you show it is what makes the difference. Case in point, Bastard Out of Carolina. It's a movie about a girl who was abused by her stepfather. For the purposes of the film, directed by Angelica Houston, you see the girl, Bone, physically and sexually abused. Obviously, they're not actually hurting her. The purpose of the scenes are to show what the abuse looks like so people can't avoid it. The purpose is to make you uncomfortable. The purpose is to make you angry at Glenn, the stepfather, and feel sympathy for Bone. And it's shot like that. And that's where Cuties makes its mistake. It's not that the girls are doing the dances. Everything that these girls do in the film, real girls do on their own because they want to. You can hate that all you want, that doesn't change that it's true. I grew up in the 90s, little girls, even toddlers were copying dances from rap videos. So don't even pretend like this is a new thing or put the whole, well, I've never, yes you have. That doesn't mean the dances are appropriate any more than it's cool to let a kid smoke on film. But if you just gotta have this in your movie, film it in a way that doesn't do the thing you're trying to critique. And Decore actually does this with the first two dances. When Angelica dances in the laundry room, yes, she's dressed much older than she should be, and this is also what Ami later wears in the film. Yes, she's shaking her ass and flicking her hair, and all of this has literally been in dance competitions shown on US TV. Yes, the judges usually tell the kids that's inappropriate, but nevertheless, it's shot in a way to just show what she's doing. The same goes for the girls practicing when Ami spots them. It's just showing them doing it. Not a problem. But the third one, when they have Ami record them, what the fuck were you thinking? Why do you keep going back to close-ups of their gyrating hips? This is not once or twice, but like a fourth of the cuts are these clearly sexualized close-ups. I get the point, that we're supposed to be uncomfortable, that you're showing us how these girls are sexualized, by sexualizing them. Do you see the problem? If you didn't have the close-ups and they just did the moves, you get the point across. They're doing something they shouldn't be doing and don't understand why it's wrong. You don't need to be in the girl's belly buttons to do that. And again, the director does this when she shows Ami practicing. She's just practicing. There's no focus on body parts, she just learns the moves. Not a problem. Until we get to the second laundry scene. This is after they kick Jasmine out, and Ami says she'll take her place, and shows Angelica that she knows the routine. Starts off fine. Mid shots of Ami from the front, wide shots from the back so you can see her whole body as she does the routine. It's nothing that isn't on TV that hasn't been in a Missy Elliott video. Then Ami takes it further. She gets on her knees and does that arch back move. Then she humps the floor while jacking it off. Ironically, it's shot tastefully. That's not the problem. The problem is the goddamn dance. Did no one think this was too much? No? I mean, let's be generous. Let's say Decore told the actress to just do whatever. Did no one think, not that? Could you not fuck the floor? Please and thank you? Yeah, it's shot in a way like The Way You Make Me Feel when MJ humps the ground, I'll give you that. But did you not think she's 11 years old? No? Really? You've got so many other dances you could pick from, and this was what you chose. Really? Nobody thought this was a bad idea. I can see the kids not thinking it's a bad idea, but you, the adults, plural, more than one, nobody thought this. So in the next dancing, fuck a segue, I'm just gonna keep going. Ami teaches the other girls this routine, where she's literally pushing their hips back and forward to the beat so they can learn the moves, because despite the girls clearly knowing how to dance and already shaking their hips, they just can't seem to figure it out. She's literally pulling and pushing the backs of their pants so they can figure out how to properly hump the ground. And Ami is all exacerbated by this, like, oh you guys, can't you just get it? And all I'm thinking is, why don't you show them the video? You know, the stripper video you watched to learn the moves? The one that you watched on the stolen phone you still have? Show them the video. Problem solved. They can't get it, show them the video, they got it, so we cut. And why the hell are half the shots close-ups of the girls' asses? Again, no one thought this was a bad idea. 4 girls dry humping gravel. Nobody thought this was a bad idea. No? You've got 4 different coverage angles. You then filmed this thing 3 different times. Nobody took a pause. No? So then you get an okay version of this when the girls go to the tryouts. It's shot from the window as Ami looks in, so the dancing itself is still bad, but it's not shot to titillate. But still, nobody thought, we've got these pretend judges staring at these little kids' asses. Maybe we made a mistake. No? How about when Ami twerks for the pervert guard and he's oogling her, because I guess all dudes are just perverts. Or when the girls are on the stairs and Ami pops her ass to the drum beat of the music. That scene is the clearest example that these girls seem to be fine with what they're doing because it doesn't look planned. It looks like the actresses are just doing whatever they want, which apparently includes twerking to the beat. There is a funny moment here though when Ami trips and genuinely almost falls down the stairs, but her balance is so good she catches herself and tries to play it off. She completely breaks character and laughs, and the other girls do too. So it shows that the girls are pretty fine with what they're doing. They find it funny. What's not fine is the final dance. If you've seen the clip going around on Twitter, just know that's the tame part. It gets raunchier than that. I mean, the camera is practically inside this girl's uterus. Look, I can see how on the day you'd be so in the moment that the girls nailed their routine so well the 5th time you shot for coverage that it never occurred to you how fucked up the dance was. But when you went to edit the film and found that half your shots were of an 11-year-old's hoo-ha, did you not want to reconsider using those shots? I mean, that can't be all you filmed. I simply don't believe that's the case. So why would you use that footage? Better yet, why would you film the girls from those angles? I'll give you the routine. Let them do the routine. Every time there's a part where they show their junk to the audience, film them from behind. That way you get the discomfort and dance into the film, and you get to show how the audience doesn't like it instead of using ADR booing that doesn't match the fucking audience footage. Jesus Christ, it's a goddamn stripper video. And I get the point. I get that's the point. I get that it's shot to be like the videos Ami watched to learn those moves. But in trying to critique how those videos sexualized her, you sexualized her. How do you not see that? I have astigmatism in both eyes. I can see it with my eyes closed in the fucking dark. Did it not occur to none of you that this was a bad idea? That you did the very thing you're against? This is like the parents who try to protect their kids from being abused by abusing the kids. That's what you did. And you got rewarded for it. Like everyone's brain just shut the fuck down. Look, I am very liberal. And I know the French are very lax about children and sex, but come on. Did none of you think, let's not use those close-ups? Everything about these dance scenes suggests that Decore meant well, and that what she wanted to show was how the girls were being treated. It's that in mimicking the things she criticizes, she does the very thing she's against. She sexualizes the girls. I don't understand how she didn't see that, or how anyone who views the film doesn't see that, but apparently this went completely over all their heads. That said, I don't think the girls felt exploited. I don't think their parents thought the girls were being exploited. I don't think Decore intended to exploit them. And this is where people need to think more than one step ahead. Calling this film pedo candy and accusing Decore of being a pedophile is just fucking stupid, especially if you haven't seen the film. 95% of the film has no dancing in it. Where's the candy? Scattered every 20 minutes for no more than 5 minutes at a time? That's the candy? Come on. And this is part of the problem with this film. The thing that gets the most attention isn't really what the film is about. The film is really about Ami being caught between two worlds, one she knows that's bad for her, and one she doesn't know is bad for her. The problem is that this is never done well. None of the moments have any real weight outside of when her mother has to tell other people about the new wife, and she breaks down. That felt like that could have been the driving focus because Ami is hurt by her father taking on a new wife, so much so that when he calls and wants to speak to her, she drops the phone out the window. But that thread is very thin. The same with the element of tradition. We never see much of her Muslim life. We know it's there, but it never really plays much of a role until her mother and auntie think she's possessed because she's acting out. They try to exorcise the demons themselves. This is the scene from the trailer where Ami shakes around like she's having a seizure. And later an imam comes in to check her and tells her mother that whatever's wrong, it's not that she's possessed. But that's where that ends. There's no real impact from Ami's actions. She steals the guy's phone, but he never brings this up until he catches Ami with it later on, and they have that moment. I thought she took the picture of herself to frame him, but no. She just posted online and that's it. Apparently he never checks the phone, which is still on when she tosses it out the bathroom. He never checks what she did with it at all. She steals money from her mother, but aside from the confrontation after stabbing a boy in a previous instance where she bought her brother a drone for the stolen money and he ratted her out, nothing happens. Her mother actually or pretends to faint that night at dinner, and Ami has a serious case of no fucks given. That's it. I mean, I know they're not American black, but I have a hard time believing this black mother will let her daughter steal hundreds of euros and just let it slide. Ami makes no attempt to hide how she dresses when outside so other people know. We get this from Auntie at the end of the film, but never see it. We get a handful of responses about Ami's clothing choice, but nothing major. When she gets her period, it's the same thing. It happens for that part of the film, and it's never mentioned again. You would think there would be something else that would happen, but no. It's just one and done. And then there's the end. At the tail end of the final dance number, Ami stops. When she left the apartment, she's seen the new wife dressed in white and it scared her. As she runs out, she knocks over this bowl of gold confetti, and it spills all over her. At the final dance, she knocks some of this off. The lights dim as reality sinks in. She cries and flees the stage and runs home. After her mother stops Auntie from scolding her, her mother goes to the wedding. Ami changes clothes and then goes outside to jump rope. At best, maybe a half hour has passed since the dance. She didn't just forget all the stuff she did that fast. Movie magic my ass, that makes no sense. She's not dealing with anything, there's no consequences for what she's done. And that dress that keeps getting shown, that's magically been cleaned of blood on this bright ass blue polyester, she never wears it, but never does anything to it either. It just sits on her bed, perfectly clean. So what was the coming of age transition? What did she learn? What changed besides her body? What understanding did she discover? It just ends with several plot points unaddressed, and some of them end without any conflict. This is a powerful drama Tessa Thompson defended. Did we watch the same movie? I know what I saw. The young actress was good, but this is a pretty mid-tier indie film. It's not bad, but it's not great either. So, come on. And that goes for the people trashing the film. Like I said on Twitter, Decore does the very thing she's criticizing, and people are overreacting to this film. It's not as bad as you claim. The parts that are bad are pretty bad, but the whole thing is not bad and the whole film isn't tainted, because you actually have to have something there to taint, and there's nothing there. I still can't figure out why Ami took a picture of her crotch. There's literally no context for her doing it in the scene. It just happens. But no, you don't see anything, and no, none of the girls show their breasts. That's done by an adult at the end of a dance routine for a quarter of a second. It's barely a taste of titty. One of the girls finds a used condom and doesn't know what it is and blows it up. When the other girls realize what it is, they make fun of her and say she has AIDS, and they wash her mouth out with dish soap. This is played for laughs. This is the same for Ami trying to take a pic of some boy's dick, and when the girls try to catfish some boy on cam. They're being mischievous, like kids in dozens of films from the 80s, so stop it. This overreaction, this bizarre attitude that this film must never be seen, it should never have been made, they should never talk about serious subjects, you can't have kids in subject matter films, and anyone who disagrees or watches this film is a pedophile. Okay, listen to me. Think more than one fucking step ahead. I know you're trying so hard to prove you have the biggest hate boner for pedophiles that you probably see one every time you look in the mirror, but focus. Have your emotional reaction. Have it. You got it? Is it nice and hot? Okay, we're going to put that on a simmer, and we're going to put on a fresh pot of logic, reason, ethics, and morality. Having this hyperbolic reaction doesn't solve a fucking thing. The film was made. It was praised. The people who like this movie aren't going to change their minds by you bandying around pedophile like the far left calls everyone a Nazi. Everybody who doesn't agree with you isn't a fucking pedophile. Stop throwing words around because you want to feel good about yourself. Oh, you're against pedophilia. Oh, so fucking brave. You're so stunning and brave by having an opinion everyone fucking has. You're so special. And I can hear you now. But JSG, see, if you were a parent, you'd understand. Listen, the moment you utter those words, you have no argument. Nothing you say has any value. If your sole argument is, as a parent, we're done. Like I told this jackass on Twitter, if your argument is that you only care because you have kids, you're the fucking problem. You're the reason abuse goes unseen. Because you only care what happens to your kid. As long as it isn't them, you don't give a shit. It's not wrong because that could be my daughter. It's wrong because it sexualizes the girls in the film. Try, as difficult as it may be, to think more than one step ahead. Everything isn't about you. You're not special for doing something every mammal on the planet can do. It doesn't give you some special insight. It was already wrong to abuse children. It didn't magically become more wrong when you had kids. And to be perfectly honest, it says a hell of a lot more about you that you only began to think it was wrong when you had kids. What, were you given it a pass before? Did it not occur to you to think about someone other than yourself? And in this new insight, you developed a profound ability to only care about your children. It's only wrong because it could be your child. Well, it wasn't. Think more than one step ahead. And the same goes for the people calling this film pedo candy and saying pedophiles will be jerking to this and these girls will be considered strippers. If the first thought in your head when you see this is who will be jerking to it, you're the problem. My first thought is, why would you do that to those girls? Not who's going to find them sexy or think they're strippers. It's often said that the people who protest the most about something are the people with the most to hide. Is there something you'd like to share? No? Then settle the fuck down. Jesus Christ. If all of you just took the time to think more than one step ahead, to understand that there are consequences for what you do, you could avoid so much bullshit. Just imagine if someone thought, what's the worst thing people would think if I had an 11-year-old dry hump the ground? All you had to do was think one step ahead, baby. One fucking step, and you'd have seen it. It would have been like the Star of Bethlehem shining down on baby Jesus. There it is. Unmistakable. How many people had to see this shit before it got signed off, and none of you caught this? You know, there's a saying that I like. I don't know half of you half as well as I should like, and I like less than half of you half as well as you deserve. I think it's more than half now. But what do I know? I'm just some guy.